the prior larger swings on the weekly chart. Now I would have done it here, and I did do it there, but there was a time where it went through that. So you may have had an initial rally off of some of those projections, but when we went through that, I had to dig back further and basically found a prior swing that was $114.04 and project that from the high, and we went slightly through the projection. We ended up making a decline of 115.34. So this is symmetry, similarity or equality of swings in the same direction. And then I also projected the larger swing, which gave me the lower end of that zone here. So once this was out there and we started seeing buy triggers against it, I was able to give a target up at the 675 area in Apple. Now we haven't reached it yet, but we have met the 786 retracement, and we've seen a huge rally off of it. There's one more thing that showed up in Apple that confirmed that area as potentially important, and it was that the first swing down was $89, and the second swing down was $89.34. Okay, so I know that we've made it to at least the 619 area in Apple. Okay, this next chart again, this is just an example of a trigger that you could have used. Okay, so let's see, this is where the May 18th low was made. Okay, here is one prior swing high, here's another prior swing high, here's where you had the moving average crossover right in here. Okay, so this is way back there. You're talking about a move from maybe 543 to what, 619? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I got in that trade and I held it to that, because that's not my expertise. I'm not very good at staying in the trades. That's something I have to work on myself personally. But you do know that the upside potential is way up there, and you can always get involved again on another pullback. Okay. This next example is just how you can find these setups on an intraday basis, where I had a retracement of these two swings, a projection of this prior swing, and I believe these two swings, and let's see, 100%, and then there was also a 1272 extension of the prior low to high swing. Okay, so there was a cluster between 564.35 to 568.20. This is an example of one of the setups that would have been in the trading room during the day. And you didn't get triggered when you first tested it. The next day you gapped open. But if you take a look at the swing, this was a $54 swing off of a 120-minute trade setup. Okay, so it's possible, and you don't want to buck it for sure. This next example is, again, a setup that initially rallied, but guess what? Stop would have been here. So you would have gotten stopped out in this one. Okay, there's so many people who have been asking about Facebook, so I can't do a lot with it because it doesn't have daily data, and I usually like to look at daily and weekly charts in most of the stocks that I cover, and also the indexes. And one thing that I found was there was similarity of the swings in Facebook. This is on a 120-minute chart. I mean, this is a $2.30 swing, 233, 232, and 226. Those are all very similar in price. So one of the things that you can use symmetry for is you can say, if you cannot clear the symmetry of this last swing down, or let me put it another way, if you cannot rally for a decent margin beyond $2.33, which is the largest swing so far. I mean, let's see a move that's a $3 rally at least. I'm not going to get excited about Facebook on the buy side until then. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope. All right. I'm going to go into an example of a trade setup that I gave out probably last week. Might have been the end of last week. And this was, CME might get mad at me, but CME, and this is after the stock split. You can see the difference in the prices. It went from what, $250 stock to now it's it's less than 50 now, I think, because we did have this trade set up where I took the prior low to high swing of $2.74 and then this low to high of $2.83, and I projected it from the recent low. And then I also ran a retracement, 618, of the prior high to low, and came up with a price cluster of 52.91 to 53.03. I put this out as a trade setup, but it didn't trigger until, I believe, Tuesday. Okay? Now, the targets for any of these trade setups is always 1272. That's the target 1 of the swing into the trade setup. Okay? So here's the swing, the July 23rd low to the July 27th high. So 1272 of that was 49.44. Now I believe that I added the updated chart. Yeah, we pretty much, I'm not sure, I didn't take a snapshot at the close, but we pretty much made target number 1 in CME in today's session. So the risk, again, was defined just above the high made prior to the sell trigger. And a lot of people are also using options to get involved here. So I don't know how many of you have, futures accounts versus stock accounts, but options. Most of the people that I'm involved with are using options. I basically have a joint venture with Simpler Options and John Carter and Henry Gamble, so that's who I'm doing the room with during the day. Okay, I'm going to go over POT. This was another one of the setups. Now, the larger pattern in POT was still down. The shorter term pattern, obviously from the June 4th low, I mean, we've had a beautiful rally in POT, okay? But I noticed that we were coming into resistance, looking at a weekly chart and also more data on the daily chart. So I had a 32 trading day rally, and I had a 31 trading day rally into resistance, and it looks like it triggered a short in the last couple of trading sessions. I'm not doing Forex. I don't have time, but you can use it for Forex. Okay, again though, let me finish up here and then I will take questions afterwards. Okay, something I want to go over on the current S&P chart. Well, actually, I took this snapshot yesterday, so it's not so current. Here, one of the things that you should be watching is symmetry. What I did here was I basically measured these prior swings. You had a 54.5 point decline in the S&P, then you had a 55.25 point decline. Those were very similar, okay? This helped me identify this as an important low before it rallied 56.25 points in the S&P. Simple symmetry projection. Well, it also nailed the next low, okay? It's not always going to work. It's not always going to hold. Is it worth doing the analysis on? Yes, absolutely. So what we were looking for was a target up at the 1272, which we fell short of. And we also had time resistance to the move from July 30th through August 2nd. So timing basically turned the market a little bit below the initial target. And now what we're watching is for a possible resumption of the rally somewhere above the July 25th low. So I'm not on a buy yet as far as the daily work is concerned. And actually I'm probably going to have a sell setup on the update